Hi, everybody. It's meteorologist Joe Chaffee. I want to go back a couple of days ago when I mentioned about the fact that I was a little intrigued. This is after the system that goes through Friday night and early Saturday, that there was the second system that was going to come around, and you have this vortex that's driving down. And you can see this is the system here, and this is the upper air system. And one of the things that really caught my eye a few days ago was this northwest southeast tilt in the trough. And I kind of wondered whether it was possible that this system would be deeper and wind up pulling this further left over time. And the trend was kind of back and forth. But indeed, at least according to today's GFS run, and the European did show this yesterday. Now look at the difference here to today. It's pulled it well back toward the coast. This is for Sunday, and you have this deep upper air low that's really influencing it, trying to grab onto it and catching it into the flow. I think this is a real possibility here that we could wind up that the second system, and it will be cold enough in that second system for snow. And I'm going to switch now over to the surface map, and you can see what it does. And I'll go back. Let's go back 2 runs, and you can see this is where it is for Sunday evening. This is where it was shown to be 2 runs ago. Now we have. Now I'm going to go back to the mid run, and you can see it's deep and it's a little further left. Now this could be just today's run, and I want to be cautious here. It shows a deep storm still running just to the east, but it does generate some snows back to the coast, and I still would think that if allowing for some errors, if this were correct, that this would be primarily a coastal event from east of Boston, east of New York City, east of Philadelphia, with much less, if very little, north and west of there. But that's the literal translation. You can see how this comes out as we go back. And we have a pretty strong low here. We're going to get some snows down in Tennessee Valley and parts of the deep south with this. Now, look at the difference. We'll go back. I'll go back 3 runs. Okay, you can see it has a low offshore. Nothing really of consequence. You can kind of visualize that this is going to go out to the east. And it's still there at, you go back to 0Z Wednesday. That was last night's run, and then we go to the 6Z run, which is from the early morning run that comes out at 4:30, and now we have the new run, and you can see the difference. Now, if this is real, and that's the big question, I want to see what the European does with this. European, as I said last night, was kind of showing this idea, but we all know that these models can change, and I hope you've all gotten a flavor of everything that's gone on over the last week or so, how difficult all this is. By the way, the GFS still has the strengthening storm going by. It's a little further south and east, and I just want to caution that the NAM model actually has it out to sea and has it as a miss now. And I'm wondering whether that might, for those of you who want snow, that may very well be a positive, because it changes the structure of the whole flow along the east coast. If this were to go out further east, it might allow for more room for this thing to be further west. I think it's all going to depend on this strong upper low with very cold Arctic air coming into the mix. This low deepens to a 959 millibar system. That's way down on your barometer. That's very deep, and certainly would mean for coastal New England that they could get a sizable snowstorm out of this before it moves away toward Nova Scotia. And then you can see it's very cold next week here as this Arctic air comes moving on in. So just a quick update here. I'm going to evaluate more of the models later today and see where it goes. But I think now it is something that we have to consider, that Sunday this coastal low is going to be a little bit, a little more of a factor in our weather forecast going forward.